at the end of our process. The media present with us. I also want to acknowledge and welcome the evidence leaders who have been specially invited to be present in today's session to assist the members in our exercise on item 2. I want to welcome the entire support staff of the inquiry, and lastly but not least, to also welcome members of the public in their various platforms, YouTube or 408, whichever is available. It's the 28th of July, 2023. As we agreed on our revamped program, we have set aside this day to the day that the members get into deliberations and do their draft report as mandated by the National Assembly. We have 2 items on the agenda. One being the item on the recusal application and response. And the second item was the main item, which speaks to the entire mandate of this committee, is the issue of the draft report. And that can be dealt with later, but let me start in saying just upfront, I appreciate everybody's work and patience as we go through this work. I just want to get straight to the first item, where you would have received a recusal application for the removal of the chair as a chair and from the committee. You are aware that in our meeting in June, I would have indicated, which you also agreed to, that we will welcome that if there will be any recusal application, and we indicated that we would prefer that it be in writing and would respond in writing. I therefore have received, and I indicated in my response, from the day when it was mooted, from the day when it was initially raised, it would have been about 5 weeks, the time when I actually received the recusal application. I had my mind, went through it, asked for further information, including recordings, and got a response that there is nothing more than what would have been sent to me. And that as such would have delayed to get a response from the initial date of the 21st. Having waited for those recordings and further responses, finally responded on the 23rd. Today, that response to the recusal application is going to be taken as read and as presented. I don't need to repeat that as a chair on the issues that were directed at me. I found the recusal application without any merit, and have therefore declined to recuse myself, as you know by now. It is now the opportunity of the committee to comment on that and take a decision whether the committee decides to remove or not to remove the chair. And the chair of this committee would have been elected by members. And so before we proceed to any other matter, I am now going to invite members who wish to offer comments on this matter. Perhaps for a limited time, then we'll take it from there. Thank you very much. Are there any members who want to raise anything or make any comments in relation to both the recusal application and the response to that recusal application? Thank you. Thank you. Honorable Zahud.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Good morning to you, the evidence leaders and my colleagues both in this committee room and also on the virtual platform, and everyone else who brings us with your presence in this meeting. Honorable Chairperson, let me start by saying that as a committee, we reject this application with the utility that represents. The issues that are raised in the application do not belong to this committee. And we have said many times that whoever have anything, evidence or anything, they must take that to the relevant authorities or to the relevant institution. As this committee, we assist them with the responsibility to deal with the inquiry into the figures of the head of the chapter 9 office. So we cannot be dragged into something that doesn't belong to this committee. So I want also to say that we support the responses that you have given to you have. We support your responses to this application and say that we cannot waste more time and deal with something that belongs to this committee. I submit to Honorable Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Zahud. Honorable Nola.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I wish to confirm that we have received with the application for the recusal from the Public Protector and the response to that particular application. We have acquainted ourselves with the contents of the application together with the response to such. So I think it is important to note that what is said to be an evidence that is linking you to a perceived soliciting of a bribe or extortion and everything else is quite ambiguous for the committee to make a link of your participation or your alleged participation into what is perceived to be a soliciting of bribe and some sort. Because as when you analyze and see what is being submitted in terms of the recusal application as reasons for your recusal, is that they still, until today, we've been waiting. That links you to having communicated and solicited a bribe from Mr. Mkhwebane. And two, there's an allegation that a particular member of the committee was instructed by you to go and do those things. But until today, there is nothing that proves that you have indeed issued instruction that someone must go to a particular Mr. Makosana and solicit something. So from where we are seated, we are saying there is no merit, there is no tangible evidence that actually links you to what is said to the public as a okay, sorry, sir. The deputy chief is giving me a note that it's Mr. Skosar, not Makosar. I apologize. I sincerely apologize. So there is no tangible evidence that links you in that ambiguous submission of what is said to be the evidence of a bribe being solicited. Beyond that, I think it is important to note and say here that we won't allow the committee to be deflected on calling people to address the committee on things that have got nothing to do with this committee. Anyone who wishes to address issues in relation to an alleged bribe, extortion, and the sort must go to the relevant institutions and address them. We are not here to deal with issues of such kind. We are here as mandated by the National Assembly to deal with issues relating to the fitness of the public protector to hold office. So we won't allow anyone to come in and address us. We're proceeding with the business of this committee without having to be deflected into issues. Because the next day we'll be called to address issues of electricity in Khayelitsha as the committee. And we won't be able to do that because we would have deflected from what the National Assembly has given us to do. Lastly, Chair, I hope and I wish that this closes the chapter that we want to go outside and validate our opinions using the passing of Honorable Tina Joemat-Pettersson. It's un-African, it's inhuman, it's cruel, it's barbaric, that we want to validate our opinions and our views using the untimely passing of a member of parliament without giving regard to how the family might be feeling about that. They are still in the mourning phase and we're busy parading outside trying to make our opinions valid and on point using an untimely passing of our own colleague. So I think it seals it. It must not happen again. We are closing the chapter. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Olamola. Honorable Jane.
Thank you, Chairperson, and good morning, colleagues. Chair, one would want to actually welcome and acknowledge.
I go with you. Just a volume, please.
Chairperson, I'm not sure why you can't hear me.
Now we can hear you properly.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Chairperson. I was saying that one would want to acknowledge and appreciate your work in terms of responding to the allegations and your recusal. And I would want to support what has been said by two members who spoke before me to say that this matter of allegation doesn't belong to this committee. Let the matter be handled by law enforcers as previously advised by Honorable Maneli, to say that if there are issues of this nature, they need to be referred to law enforcement agencies so that they can be taken care of. So one would want to agree that we want to reject this particular recusal because this is not the first time that we've been dealing with it. I thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Mananiso. Honorable Maneli.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Chair, I think because points have been taken already, it is just to emphasize the point of thanking you for responding. Yeah, because initially it was like you did not want to respond. So we must thank you for responding, and from where we are, it then closes the issue. for anybody who wants access to be heard on the matter, there are structures to go to, but not this committee. And I think in the way you've responded, Chair, you've demonstrated that you've been fair in the way you've handled the issues. Vice Honorable Ngola has indicated that we may be expected sometimes to look at some problems in Khayelitsha which are not in the purview of this committee. We should also thank you, Chair, that you took steps even on matters that really did not have to be dealt with by this committee, whether it was about non-payment, whether it was about getting additional funding. We knew that that belonged elsewhere. But those initiatives were informed by the fact that we wanted this inquiry, its work not to be hampered, and that it can do its work within reasonable time, as expected by the National Assembly. So I want to thank you for that and indicate that we still remain confident that you are in the correct position to complete the task that has been started by the committee under the stewardship as the chairperson elected by this committee to chair us. So we reject that has been put, including any other additional request to have access to the committee and listen to a point that has nothing to do with the work of this committee. So we think it ends there, Chair, so that we can get to the real business of the committee. Thank you, Chair.